All right, I think we're rolling. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're enjoying a toasty Friday afternoon. This is Bob Walters, the AV and live streaming coordinator here at Millbrook UMC. I'm coming to you live this afternoon because I just wanted to try something a little bit different. Um, as you can see on the screen, this is a little behind the scenes project that I'm working on. I've been doing a series of videos off and on over the past year and a half, I guess, where I kind of show you some behind the scenes stuff. I call it the Rundown Gospel. We'll talk about the name some other time. But it's these videos that I put together to kind of give you, a little peek behind how we put things together here. But they take a while to produce, to write them and pre-record it and edit them. And sometimes it's just hard to, show the whole process and then put all that time into it to get a nicely edited, good-looking video for you guys. So I thought I'd try something a little different today and actually just kind of let you watch as I do a little something here, and you can kind of get a feel for how it goes. So what I'm going to be doing today, it's not going to be too long, not going to be super in-depth, but if you have come to worship service or watched online, as I hope you've done, you've probably noticed that in the lead up to beginning of a worship service, we have some announcement slides rolling, and in between there will be some shots from around campus. And those are about a year and a half old. I took them last spring, and since then I've gotten a couple new ones, but I haven't had a chance to edit them. So I have a little bit of time today, and I thought I'd kind of go through the process of putting those together. So first things first, let's go ahead and add them to the project. I haven't added them yet, have I? No, okay. So, where'd they go? Here it is. Okay. So we have our campus B-roll videos. I'm just going to go ahead and add them all. And then I'm going to pop them into this timeline here. So let's see. First of all, these were all shot in 4K, so they're a little too big. So I'm going to shrink them down. Shoot, I can only do that one at a time. Well, actually, first things first, so I shot these on an anamorphic lens, which means they're stretched out real tall. I'll show you on one of these real quick. Where is a good, okay, so this is a pretty good one. So if I shrink this down to a normal size, you can see that it's stretched pretty tall right here, and that's because I shot this with an anamorphic lens, which makes the image a little taller than normal. It just, when you squish it down, it gives it a little more of a depth separation. It makes it a little more cinematic. And in order to fix this, I go in here to, where is it? Clip. Oh, I always forget this. What's the name of this one? 07. Right click, modify, interpret footage, and I'm going to change it to the anamorphic 1080 interpretation of the pixels. And now we see it's a little, it's the normal height, normal shape. You can see that angel is looking a lot better now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all of these, so that we're working so that everything doesn't look all funky. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put these in the proper folder just so everything's nice and organized. So, next thing I will do is, so I made that 50% size, which is what I want. So let me go ahead and copy that attribute to all these other ones. Copy, paste attributes. Okay, so now if we go and look at these, we'll see that they're all the right shape. So, that one shrunk way down. Oh, I see what happened there. That one got double shrunk. All right, we'll set that aside for the moment. So anyways, these are the shots I got from around campus. Let's go ahead and select the ones that we want. I'm going to go ahead and take this one out because it shows times that are not accurate for the summer schedule. That's a pretty good one. I like that one. That one's interesting. We've got some flowers there. This only appropriate for a very specific season, so we can't use that all the time. Here's a new front door shot. And then we have these hearts. I think these are all kind of the same, so I'll just stick with the first one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go ahead and delete that one. All right, so we have, I like to line these up here. So we have these 6 different clips. Not sure why I recorded this one so much shorter than the others, but whatever, it's still 15 seconds, that's more than enough. In fact, I'm going to clip these all down to 15 seconds. So, in fact, let me go ahead and do that. Let me set an in time. So just make this a little quicker. So there, that's one. Take the next one, and I'm just going to trim these all down real quick. Oops, whoopsie daisy. All right, so now they're all 15 second. Crud. Come on. Okay, so now they're all 15 seconds long, so that makes some good bumpers. Now you'll also notice they're a little washed out. That's because when I filmed these, initially, I filmed them, it's called filming it flat. It kind of washes it out. This is a way of collecting more data, so you have more detail in the highlights and the shadows to work with, but it makes the image look really washed out. So I'm going to go into a color editing system. Yeah, you can see right here we don't have a lot of range between 0 and 100%. Now the easy way you can do this is to come in and slap what they call a LUT on it. Whoops, I had the wrong thing selected. Which is basically like a professional grade Instagram filter. And you can see that makes a bit of a difference. And then of course you can go down here and they have some fancy looking ones that will really change the look of things. You get all sorts of different styles, some black and whites, different tints, brightnesses and everything. But I'm not going to do any of these. Let me try doing one manually. Hopefully this isn't too boring. So we'll start flat. First thing I like to do is make this adjustment because it's going to make sure that it never gets too dark or too light. Just adjust this curve here a little bit, and then I'm going to go up and do the basic correction. So I like to keep it between 90 and 10. So we'll raise the exposure, increase the contrast. That's going to help out a lot. Not too much. Shadows, blacks, highlights, maybe a little more contrast. Color-wise, I'm pretty happy with that. I can make it a little bit warmer. And I do like adding a little bit of vignetting. Just kind of focus your attention on the middle. So where were we? Actually going to bring those highlights down a little bit. And I'm really not going to play with a whole lot else. I don't think this has a lot of motion in it. I think the branches move a little bit, not much. No, it wasn't a particularly windy day. So, you know, I think I will come and take a look at one of these LUTs. And I'm just going to find something that kind of does what I want to do, but really harsh, and then I'll just reduce the intensity a bit. See how that does it. Or I might not find anything I like. But that's why we experiment. But you can kind of see we got the different profiles up here that I'm flipping through. And they really change the look of the image. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I like how dark that makes it. Maybe my problem is I just need to, maybe I just made it too bright. Maybe I need to bring down the highlights a little bit. Yeah. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. And we'll bring it up just a little bit. Okay. So there we go. That is our first image. And one thing that I do like to do when I put these up is I like to put the church logo. So I have one right here. And I'll put it right here. Now the colors don't really stand out there. So actually I'm going to go in over here, and we actually have a branding kit for the church that tells us what the colors and logo are supposed to look like, and I have made a couple different permutations of it. So I kind of like this one, all white one. This is going to look good in this corner. So let me take this out of the way here. And as you can see, that's full size. That's pretty big. So let me go to the effects and we'll shrink that down. And I'll adjust it down to the corner. We want it to be there, but we don't want it to be too overbearing. So there we go. That looks pretty good. Now, one of the nice things is we are only projecting and live streaming in high definition, which the resolution is 1080p. You've probably seen that if you bought a TV, that the actual numbers resolution is 1920 pixels across and 1080 high. They call that 1080p, and that's what we're sending out as. I filmed these clips in 4K, which if you look right here, you can see 26, 8, 8, 15, 12. It's actually, well, did I film this in 1080? But it's stretched? No, that's not right. At any rate, it's a much higher resolution than, oh no, I'm looking, did I highlight the wrong thing? Is that what it is? No. But at any rate, it's much larger than the actual frame. You can see that I've got it scaled to 50% right now. When it's 100, if you recall, it's huge. I can shrink it down. About 50% is when we start getting black bars at the top and the bottom, but because it's stretched out, if I were to, I figured that I can get it down to 37.2 before we start getting black bars on the side. So you can see I've shot a super widescreen image, which is nice because say I wanted to, we don't want the black bars, but say I wanted to manually add a little motion here. So what I can do is I can, wrong one. I can say start the image right here at the beginning of the clip, and I can add some motion to it. So I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. And then I'll just move these points to the ends, and now yeah, that's a little interesting. Yeah? Pretty cool. So I like that. It's a bit much. I'd like it to be a little more subtle. So I'm actually going to, let's see. There we go. I like that more. Okay, so that's going to be one of our bumper clips. And we had... So we had an angel before, and this will replace that one. I've got a couple that we haven't had before, like this one, the bell tower, the steeple up on the church. And you'll notice, I think there's azaleas in all of these. I went around, this was like a week when the azaleas were in bloom, and I just wanted to get a lot of that. Yeah, 5 of these 6 clips have azaleas in them, so I hope everybody likes azaleas, because they are everywhere here. So let's go to this one. Is this also 50%? Yeah, it is. I've filmed a really tight shot here. So let's go ahead and we'll adjust the colors again. Again, I think it came out pretty good. I just need to brighten the whites, darken the shadows, but the color temperature is pretty good. Oh, there we go. There's my colors. Okay. So make it a little bit brighter. Increase the contrast. Shadows go down. Bring the blacks down a little bit. Why isn't my scope adjusting? That's weird. Ah, I guess it was locked on the other one for some reason. That's weird. Okay, where were we? So, curves we already did. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. That was odd. So we'll increase the contrast. Bring the shadows down a little bit. Up the highlights, not a whole lot. Like I said, I want to keep it below the 90 mark, but if I get it really high, it starts looking really blown out. So we'll keep that down a little bit like that. Bring down the orange a little bit. There we go. Just for the sake of curiosity, I often like to just come in and kind of play with these and see if anything strikes me as particularly interesting. Because the thing is that you can flip through and it might be really intense, but I have the ability here to adjust the intensity. So like, so this one makes it very blue. And if I bring this down, you can see what it originally looked like. So what I can do is I can just kind of take this slider and kind of get a little bit of the in-between there, which is kind of nice. I like that one. Let me throw a little vignette on and see what that looks like. Don't want to be too obvious. I kind of like that. I like the contrast there. Let me just add a little more saturation. That's pretty good, I think. Do we have much motion in this one? Oh yeah, those branches are moving. You can actually, oh, and there's the wind. Ooh. That's a nice clip. I like that. I don't like that we got this really dirty strip right here on the side of the steeple, but that's the way it goes, I guess. Let me copy this. And I'm going to move this over to the shadows on the other side. Oh, no, wait. Okay, so I'll have to show you later in the... no, I want to keep this over here. I'll show you later when we go into ProPresenter and I actually add these, but one of the mistakes I made in one of the original videos, and maybe I'll go back and change it sometimes, I put the logo over here, but this is where we put the countdown timer at the beginning of the service. So this time I want to make a point of not putting anything in this corner right here, because there's going to be a countdown timer and you're not going to be able to see it. So I'm going to try to keep the logos over here on the bottom left, and hopefully we don't have any problem. This isn't too bad. If there was a lot of white over here, that'd be an issue, but I think we'll be okay here. So let's take a look at this now. That's good, I like that. I'm going to take just a smidge of orange off of it. There we go. I like that. Okay, on to the next one. Not sure how much I like this one. I don't know how much I want to highlight the graveyard. Also, this one that's kind of overgrown with dirt there. Yeah. I've also got 6 here. I think I'll start with, what else do we have? I think I'll leave this one out. Because for one thing, I think I currently have 3 of these bumpers in there, and I don't want to go crazy with it. You know, I don't want, you know, it is the announcement slides. I don't want to overdo it with stuff that's not actually announcements. So, so yeah, I'll leave that one out. I'm gonna have to think on that one. So let's just go to this flower one here. Actually, ooh, I just had an idea. Something that might be fun is I can actually add a zoom. So 50% is the widest we can go. but I can zoom in a little bit. Not much. Say 54, see what that looks like. Can barely see that. It's very subtle. Kind of like how subtle that is. Let's go just a little more and see. I'm going to try 56. Yeah, that's pretty good. You can kind of sort of see it expanding over here on the corners, but it's not much. Ah, see when that little corner right there popped in, you can notice it. But otherwise, for the most part, not super obvious. I kind of like that. I like movement, but I like it when it's not distracting. Yeah, let's stick with that. I think with these azaleas, with these flowers, I'll probably just keep it a still shot. But let's go ahead and, again, just pop the shadows down a little, the highlights up a little bit, and then we're kind of setting our floor and our ceiling here. There we go. Okay. I don't know why this is taking longer to reset. So as you can see, this is kind of our, it's called a lumetri scope. This kind of shows us our different colors. You can see it because the flowers are pink, and those are the highlighted parts in the sun that are reds are a little brighter. And since there's not much blue in here, that's in the shadows. Yeah, so we'll make that pretty bright. We want our flowers to be bright and sunny. Highlights up a little. Blacks and shadows. Don't think I need to bring the whites up anymore because we're pretty close to the peak we want. I'll bring the exposure down just a notch. And just a little bit off the orange color there. I'll copy this again. And how does this look? Well, that's pretty good. I like that. Again, let me kind of center your attention here on the flower with a little bit of a vignette on the edges. Ooh, I did that on the wrong thing. I've got the text here, the logo highlighted. Wrong clip. I want to do it on this one. As you can see, if you do it too much, it becomes really obvious in the corners, but I'll just subtly bring it down there. And let's see what we got here. That's pretty nice. Almost makes me wonder if this one's a little too blue, but I'll come back to that later. So this is our first one. We got our second one. And our third one. I have a feeling there's a bit too much of a contrast here with, this is kind of neutral, kind of gray. This is a little on the blue side, and this is a little on the warm side. So I'm gonna have to even those out a little bit, but let's keep going. Go ahead and get these all done, and then we'll even them out. So back to our curves. Again, it's funny when you see me going through several clips here, you kind of see how much repetition is involved in all this stuff, unfortunately, but you still get to be creative here and there. So if you enjoy this process, it's pretty neat. So make this a bit brighter. I like all the different colors we got in this one. When spring comes around, I'm pretty busily going around trying to film as much stuff as possible while everything's nice and bright and colorful. This is definitely a little bit too orange, so I'm gonna let me try a little auto white balance. Oops. I hit the auto color correct button, and that was not what I wanted to do. Can I undo that? I can undo that. Nice. What I wanted to do was hit this little eyedropper thing for the white balance, and I can go and select something that's supposed to be white in this picture, and it'll adjust the white balance accordingly. I think the whitest thing I have in this shot are these white flowers right here. So let's try that. Yeah, that helps out a lot. That's much better. So let's bring the exposure down just a hair. Shadows. Having trouble finding what I want with this one, so let's flip through the previews and see if I can get some inspiration here. Something that jumps out to me and says, yes, that's exactly what we want, or close to it. Don't really get to do much with black and white. And I like the contrast I got here. It's just way too darn blue. What happens if I just come up and... Yeah, it's just getting kind of messy. Like I said, these they're called LUTs. They're kind of like Instagram filters. And so just like an Instagram filter, you kind of go through and just see what strikes your fancy. Let's kind of get into the overall look that you want. That's kind of the color I want. That's the neutral color I want. So now just want to make it a bit brighter. That's pretty good. Again, it's a little on the orange side. That's pretty good. That's a good start. Let's see what a little vignette looks like. Which is nice because since this is the lightest part here, it really kind of, you know, darkens this side over here. And kind of draws your focus to the front door, which is what we want. Okay. Now this one, again, like I said, we want to draw people to the front door. I really want to put this on this side, but like I said, that is not going to work with the timer. But let's... So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to start out wide here, and I'm also going to set the position to, and then where we want it to end is I want it to be zoomed in a bit, but I also want to go more towards that door. So let's see what that looks like. That works pretty good. Now, like I said, I don't really like how the logo is kind of blocking in front of the door there, but I did just remember how wide this image actually is. If I zoom out a little bit, see how much we got to play with on either side there? So we'll put this back at 50. What I'm actually going to do is I want to set the start point like right there. Move those back. And then, where's it moving now? Now it's not really moving much. So let me adjust it even further there. Okay. Now let's see what we got. Yeah, that kind of brings the door into the center of the frame. Good. I like that one. It's a little dark. There we go. Now there is, what is that setting? There is a setting somewhere you can mess with that'll really up the contrast, but I can't remember what it's called. No, it's not there. I might be confusing Photoshop. So, anyways. Last one. So this is over by the preschool. And this is kind of a mural we have with some hearts on it, on the wall, which I really like. Kind of like highlighting the art we have around here. Oh, and if I throw a LUT on there, that's what it looks like, which is not bad, actually. Let me just go and adjust my curves the way that I like to do. And so I'm going to desaturate that a little bit. I don't want it quite so red. Yeah. Let's see what the colors look like. That's kind of all over the range. I think that looks all right. So yeah, we'll keep this one pretty simple. Not going to do a whole lot to that. I think that's a pretty good start. You know, unfortunately, because of the narrow walkway right there, I couldn't really get a much wider shot. Obviously you can tell it's hearts and everything, and that's not a bad shot, but I wish I could have this zoom out a little bit more. I think I will make it zoom out. I'm just going to make it not I'll make it a little more subtle. So zooming out to 50, let's say from 53 to 50. And let's see what that looks like. Oh, oh, that's me hitting the camera. No bueno. Okay, glad I watched that all the way through. Oh, shoot. Huh. So it appears I just banged the camera in the middle of that shot. Actually, you know what? Based on what I'm seeing here, that was actually me adjusting the focus. Because see, this heart in the background is out of focus here, and this big one here is in focus. And then as we keep going, we get the shake, out of focus, in focus. Yep. That was me thinking I could adjust the focus during the shot, and instead banging the camera around. So let me see if one of the other clips does not have that in it. So it looks like those were 8, 9, and 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the attributes from that one clip onto these other ones, paste attributes, and as you can see, it's going to copy the motion, the color correction, everything, even audio stuff, which I didn't do anything to because there's not really sound. And there we go, we can see what that looks like. All right, so let's watch these through and see if I screwed them up. Yeah, there's me playing with the focus again. Ah, man. No. I thought... you can really hear the people waiting at the stoplight now. Their stereo going. So I thought at the time that I filmed this that it would look cool if the focus changed from the closer up hearts to the farther one, but apparently the shake from my hand and from the movement just makes the shot jitter. So I don't really like that. I'm not happy with it. I think it's distracting. So we're going to call that a wash. I'm not going to do the hearts one, and I will go back sometime and reshoot that and just not touch the camera while I do it. So we're just going to go with these 4 for now. And these are what we got. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think I like the warmth on this one the most. So I'm actually going to come back and make that one a little bit warmer. Let's do the same with this one. Try to make them match a little bit more. This one I might pull back just a little bit. There we go. Okay. This one again, I think I can make a little more. Do I need to saturate it more? Is that it? I think maybe that's it. I just need to add a little more saturation because I don't want the statue to be too colorful. Don't want the statue to be orange. That's pretty good. So we got that one. I think that matches pretty well with that. That looks good. And that looks good. Bring that down just a hair. Okay, so we got our 4 shots. Fortunately, I don't think I tried to touch the camera with any of these other ones. So they should look all right. That one's pretty good. Steeple looks good. So note to self, don't try to make adjustments in the shot. Just get a static shot. We can do everything else in post. So good. Just want to make sure there's not some sort of crazy shake or something that I missed. Okay, so there we go. So what I'm going to do now is I can mark an in point and an out point for the rendering these out. So I'm going to call this I'm going to label these all number 2 because I can't remember what the original versions are called. And since some of these kind of replicate what we already had, we're going to put this... so I got a render folder right here. And I have a preset here from Millbrook. And we're going to send that to the program that'll render it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and set all of these. Go ahead and send all of these out to the renderer. Call this Steeple 2, even though there's not a Steeple 1. Call this one Flowers 2. And we'll call this one Front Door 2. And they're all lined up here, and I press play, and it's going to go through and render them one by one. You can see our preview down here. So while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead into ProPresenter. And go ahead and get the announcement slides set up so that when these are ready, we can go ahead and start adding them in. So ProPresenter is the presentation software we use to display all the graphics and everything up on the screens. This is where our text goes when we're reading along with scripture, or you have a hymn that you're singing. You know, also the announcement slides cycle through and everything. So, and I apologize I don't have a camera here or anything. This was really just a kind of a proof of concept test to see if, you know, doing a live stream type thing would even work. You know, I wasn't 100% sure. So if this was good, if I decide to do another one of these in the future, then I will, try to gussy up the presentation a little bit. So this is what our Sunday service looks like. And right here is the pre-show announcement slides. Now, as you can see, here's the one I was talking about. I'll go ahead and show you right here. So if I get the timer going, this is our welcome slide. And as you can see, this slide has the logo down here in the bottom right corner, but it's covered up by the countdown timer, and you can kind of see it poking out the corner, which doesn't look great. I should really go back and move it over here, but one of these days. Here's the old Angel one you can see. Definitely more of an orange tint than the last one, or than the new one. And our front door, again, very warm tinting. So what I'm going to do is, this one always stays the same, the Welcome to Worship. Go ahead and delete the rest of those slides, so that all we have is the first one. I'm going to come in and add our slides for this week. I'm going to remove this steeple one because that is specifically for the closing. Right over last week's slides. And there we go. This week's slides are added. Now, I purposely did not add the transfer over the Angel and front door clips because I have new ones that we'll be using. How far are we? We're almost done with the last one. Okay, perfect. So I'm just going to go through here real quick. There's not a whole lot of rhyme or reason to the order these slides are in. I just like to go through every now and then, and some of these, if some topics are similar and kind of close together, like these two are one right after each other about signing up for Realm, I'll go ahead and space those out a little bit. Summer schedule, I'll move that up there. Guest preacher, and more about the summer schedule. So summer preachers, summer schedule, 2 about the guest preacher. Yeah, these really need to be spaced out. I'll put that one up there, this one here. Oh, I accidentally added this a second time. So we'll go ahead and get that out of there. Okay, much better. All right, so now our renders are done here. And I'm going to go in, let's see, B-roll. There we go. Renders. What are you thinking about here? Okay. There's already one called Angel Statue. I guess I forgot to call it Angel Statue too. Cannot import Angel Statue. Interesting. What happened there? Let's redo that one. Export. Angel Statue 2. All right. Let's see if you can make it work this time. It should be done in less than a minute. So back in Pro Presenter, we'll just space these out. So I've got one of these bumpers in the beginning. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows here. So I'm not going to put one I don't want to do one at the beginning of each row, so that's not quite spaced out enough. Let me do every row and a half. Put one right here. We'll put this one right here. And now hopefully our angel statue 2 is done. Aha. So. There we go. And so that'll go right here. And that's fairly evenly spaced. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 slides in between each bumper, so they're evenly spaced out. And there we go. So now, when Sunday rolls around, I'll just go ahead and show you what the cycle will look like. Most of these slides are up for, oh, I haven't set the timers on these yet. So when I set the timers for these, this one is 10 seconds and it'll skip over here. Actually, since these are all videos, I can go ahead and tell you what. Go to next timer. Since they're videos, I'll have them go as soon as they're done. So, if you look up here, this is what people will be seeing at home and up on the screens. There we go. And my personal preference is I like to make it fade. I think it's just a little nicer, a little less jarring, especially since, you know, announcement slides, people in the room, they're kind of be seeing this out of the corner of their eye, and stuff that flashes is a little more distracting. So, but yeah, that's what that's going to look like. I'll go through and add the transitions to all of these and everything, but that is, so that's a little sneak peek behind the scenes of how I put together some of these little bumper videos. You can see, you know, if you want to see these in action, by all means, tune in on Sunday morning. Traditional service is at 9 a.m. Contemporary service is at 10:30 a.m. That's for the duration of the summer. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this little look behind the scenes at my process for editing these things. If you like this, let me know down in the comments on the YouTube video. Say you'd like to see some more kind of behind the scenes, watch me go through the process of things. It's a little slower, a little longer than a pre-edited video, but you know, if you think it's kind of fun, you know, I can show you how I do edit the Message from the Pastors videos, give you a little look behind that kind of thing, and maybe some other stuff. So anyways, I won't drag this out, but thank you all for watching. I hope your day is off to a pretty good start, and you continue to have a great weekend. So take care. You know, follow us on social media on Facebook, look for Millbrook UMC, and then go on YouTube to Millbrook UMC and check out all the stuff that we do. And hopefully we will see you Sunday. Take care. Oh, I gotta close.